Hey guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm back with another video. This time about 460 US dollars, not including tax or shipping, and a couple of month wait from Sideshow. I finally have my Venom. This is the Spider-Man 2 video game version of Venom. I've played this video game, certainly was pretty fond of it, and I needed to get a Venom in my collection, so I figured, hey, why not? I certainly underestimated the size of the box here. I measured it height-wise from top to bottom is approximately 24 3/4 inches, so a little under 25 inches here. As I said, I got mine from Sideshow, so certainly looking forward to getting it. But as I mentioned, this is by far the biggest box that I've had with any hot toy. So this is the front, and then on the side you've got your naming, I guess 1/6 scale Venom collectible figure, and on the back you've got your standard credits. So this is one of the slip-on type boxes, so if you pull this out, on the back you've got that marble Spider-Man 2 Venom, I guess, naming and a little bit of artwork. There you got Venom on the top, you got his head there, and as you turn this around, you've got the big window with the big guy there and all the accessories. So Venom, got him out of the box mostly. Want to give you a bit of a look as to all you get in here. Starting off here with this little tray. Well, I say little, but it's pretty big. You get some accessories, which I believe go attached to his back. Look like you got a bit of a peg that goes in there. So you get two of them for the left and right. It looks like, again, these are made of this shiny, slimy, hard plastic, which I think is good, kind of fits the character. And of course, two additional hands, I guess if you want to call them that. These are more like bladed giant fingernails, nice shiny black plastic, got this whole slimy texture going on. And you do get, of course, two of them. You can switch these out. I'm going to play around with them. Looks like you got the whole socket thing that you just pull them out and in, but these are really nicely done, I want to say. Nice shiny black plastic there. So that is one tray. As I said, the figure, the box itself is humongous. I'm going to do a bit of a size comparison later on in the video, but that's one part of it. Now, next thing here is a couple of things. You get a bit of a rod. I'm assuming this probably goes along with the base. I don't know if you guys could see. I'll take that out in a second, but it's a pretty sizable base. It's got the Spider-Man 2 logo there underneath him. You do get a couple of other looks like parts. I'm going to assume these go on the hands or the forearms here. You get two of them. So again, pretty much going with the same motif as the hands. You got this nice shiny black plastic, but these are a bit softer. I'm assuming a lot more pliable, so you can slide them on into the arms, what have you. So you do get two of these. We got the other one here. Again, really cool, nice symbiote-like effect. And part of this, I don't know if you guys saw that, so you get two extra set of hands here. Again, going with the shiny hard plastic in this case. You guys could see it there, really no issues. Again, you got the nice long sharp fingernails, which again are pretty hard plastic. And again, similarly to the effect hands that I showed you earlier, this looks to be a ball and socket, so you kind of probably just pull out the hands and use these. These actually look pretty cool. From my perspective, it looked really nice and really well done. Next thing here would be the extra head that you get, so I'm going to pull it out. And then here you go. Here, this is the open mouth maw, or whatever you want to call it, with all the nice little plastic teeth that you see there, individually sculpted. You got the nice little red fleshy parts going there. And yeah, awesome eye. Again, the same sort of detail as the hands, nice shiny plastic. These heads are magnetized in this case for this figure, so you've got this nice felt lined interior on the head, and there's a magnet in here. I'll play with it in a second, but I love this head. I think this may be the head that I end up displaying him with, because if you guys could see up there on the upper left, you get some additional tongues with this guy that are magnetized. So starting here with the smallest tongue that you get there, again, there's a bit of a little magnet there, and they kind of just go in, and that kind of goes for this look there. So again, that looks really cool. So if we take this one out, try this next one in, so it's almost like small, medium, and large. Again, same thing, magnet, kind of attaches in place like so, so you get more of that look. This one in particular doesn't seem to attach too well, or maybe I just don't have it attached maybe the right way. Maybe it's supposed to go like this. Again, this is my first out of the box impressions on this guy, but I think that tongue works. So that is a medium sized one, I'm going to call it. And this is a more extended or large tongue that he comes with. Again, same thing, there is a magnet there, kind of just grabs it in place. This one's pretty cool. Again, very Venom like there, so really cool. And lastly here, you also, as I do said, you get a nice decent sized base. So I haven't taken the plastic off of it, where you got the whole white Venom logo there, Spider-Man 2, the Venom name. This is a hollow plastic. It's a good size. Again, I really do wish this felt a bit more solid, but I don't tend to use the bases. Granted, this is a pretty big figure, so I may need to just because of the size, but you guys could see it there. It's a decent sized base. You also do get this, I believe this is like a crotch grabber, because this guy is so big, I'm pretty sure I don't have clamps that big to fit that figure. So you do get that, and this, all of this kind of works alongside this pole that I showed you guys earlier in the video. Gotta take the plastic off of it, and kind of goes in place. There's a little slot there that gets placed into here by pressure, it looks like. So that's a base. And of course, lastly, you also do get your instructions. So I would certainly take a gander at those to kind of show you how to attach the pole to the base and the crotch grabber. I get some warnings, you know, what to attach, where, what not to do as far as the articulation, etc. So certainly would recommend you taking a look at those. Moving on here, guys, with Venom out of the box, got him out. He measures approximately 21 inches, standing from that little platform there that I have him on, the little turntable, all the way up to the top of his head, slightly around 21 inches. So certainly a big Hot Toys figure. The other thing I wanted to note is, if you do not like the smell of strong plastic or PVC or what have you, or rubber, this figure has a lot of that because of the size, and I just took him out of the box. So certainly I just couldn't help but have that smell just hit me in the head. I don't mind a little bit of the new plastic smell that we get with all these figures, but for some reason with this one, it was it's very potent. So again, just something to note, not that it matters. The figure itself, I mean, right out of the box, first impressions, looks awesome. Love the suit, the whole black slimy symbiote like, I think has been done really well. Certainly love the huge white spider symbol in the front, which then also runs into the back. I'm gonna rotate him there. You guys could see a lot of the texture work on the arms. You know, it's like it looks really awesome here. Just again, first impressions right out of the box. And then, as I mentioned, the logo from the front also does run into the back, and he's got this massive back again with that spider symbol there going on, massive arms, traps or whatever you call them on his neck. He is a pretty big figure. And then moving on down, you could see the feet there. Haven't had a chance to play with any posing quite yet, but he's standing there. I'm trying to be careful as I turn this little turntable that he doesn't end up taking a dive, but he feels pretty solid. Again, really cool. The parts, I want to say, actually from touching and playing with the fist and the feet down here, these are all hard plastic, whereas once you start feeling around the suit, so the legs, the chest, and the arms are all like where you'll start feeling the actual suit itself. So you feel the body underneath with this rubbery kind of material for the suit here. Very shiny, done very nice. The head here is on a magnet, so you could just very easily pull this out. Again, you got a bit of a felt lining here on the inside, and the head, this head specifically, I think is done really well. I personally will probably use the alternate head with the more open mouth and the magnetic tongues, but this one looks really cool. Again, I think the paint job's done really well. It matches pretty well, even though this is a bit of a harder plastic, it feels like, than the actual rubber suit. But yeah, the material I think is done really well to match, you know, with what was in the in the game there. So you guys could see there's a head, and because it's on a magnet, kind of gives you a bit of a different options. I guess you just got to be careful not to push it too far, otherwise it may end up like falling out or what have you. The thing that grabs me the most about this figure, I want to say, is it is the texture of the suit. Again, very slimy. At times, you know, it could feel a bit sticky. I'm always wondering how this material would fare if you are in like a high humidity environment. But we'll see how, I guess, over time this figure kind of holds up. But again, I think they've done a pretty good job with going with that look of a slimy symbiote suit Venom. Certainly the size is what grabs you. As I said, a little over 21 inches here. So definitely a beast to add to the collection. All right, guys, so you're going to have to bear with me as I try to show you here the articulation in this guy. As I show you, the head's on a magnet. So, I mean, literally you could move this up, down. As long as the magnet holds, you should have no issue with the head. Obviously, if you go too far, the head's just going to come off. But the magnet's strong enough that I think you'll be able to hold a lot of good poses with the head here. So, again, no issue there. The arms here, per the instructions, they do sort of tell you to pull them out. At least they recommend. So essentially you're gonna grab by the shoulders here and pull them out, and you'll see they'll come out. There's a joint here. So essentially what this then allows you to do is ratchet the arms up, and there are some pretty strong ratchets there. So that's pretty much what he will look like there, with his arms kind of strained out over to the side. From there, you could take these and essentially move them down and up, pretty much like so. So you could do the same thing with both arms, like that. And then you can bend the elbow here, probably good 90. But then, as you guys could see here, the suit's going to start to bunch up. And again, very similar to other Hot Toys, but this being a bit more of a shiny material, you're probably going to get some creases and damage here, which, hey, maybe it'll, you know, look a little better with the symbiote, right? I think it'll blend in anyway. But yeah, just something to be cautious about. The arms and the shoulders here, you can sort of move these around like I showed you, almost 360. They're very stiff, so I would be really careful without breaking anything. The hands here, of course, these are on your standard ball joint, so you can move them fully around. And, you know, you can move them up and down. You are going to get some pinching of the suit, so be really careful when you move the arms out. It's barely noticeable, but it's there. It's not too bad. And then, as I showed you, once you're done messing with the arms, if you want to just, I guess, put him in a museum pose, you can push this back in, and they kind of go in place really well. There's really no articulation here on the waist. The instructions actually tell you not to move this to avoid damaging the suit. Next set of articulation would be here on the arms, and one of the things they tell you to do, similarly to in the legs, similarly to the arms, they tell you to pull them out. These are pretty tough to pull out, so again, be really careful, because you could feel the suit sliding inside. And that's one. And then same thing here, it's two. So it's a little tough to pull this out, but once you get them out, they do tell you to do that to then be able to move the legs, so you can kick forward about that much. And then here you'll start to see the knee. You could probably get less than 90. I don't want to go any further, because again, you guys can see here the suit's kind of bunching up, but you do get some knee articulation there. And then as far as the feet here, these are similarly to the hands, they're on ball joints, so you guys can see it there. So you can move these left, right, you can turn them around. Just be really careful. They're very stiff, which I'm grateful for, because this is a pretty big, heavy figure. But again, just something to keep in mind. And he can also, once you pull these legs out, he can do a bit of a stretch. So he can do the splits pretty well there. So some nice articulation. Again, this being pretty big and unwieldy, sometimes to pull these joints out, it kind of gets in the way. The suit itself, again, looks awesome. I think I mentioned earlier the sections here on the legs, the upper body and the arms. This is where you could feel the texture on the suit. I don't know if you could tell. You start to feel some of the muscle structure underneath. But this certainly, I think, is done pretty well there. All shiny black with all this ooze-like material. So again, he definitely looks the part. I'm gonna play around with the articulation, but so far this is a pretty nice big chunky figure there of Venom. So I'm going to attempt to give you some size comparisons. So I had to move some stuff out of the way because I don't have a table big enough in this room to fit this guy and a couple of the other figures that I'm going to show you. So right now I am on the floor, and we'll start off with Thanos. So Thanos is the biggest hot toy figure that I have in my collection. I do not have a Hulk or a Hulk Buster. I believe those are the next biggest, Marvel wise anyway, figures, or even the Hydra Stomper from the animated series that they made. But here's how he stands next to Thanos. Certainly dwarfs him in comparison, so something to be aware of. Venom here is huge. Another comparison here to what I guess I would consider a more standard size Hot Toys is Kang from the Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania movie. Again, definitely dwarfs something along that size. So again, Venom is huge. Here's one more size comparison with the She-Hulk from Hot Toys and the 2.0 T'Challa or Black Panther. Again, She-Hulk is a good size figure, much bigger than what I would call standard like Black Panther there. And you guys can see again that Venom definitely dwarfs a lot of these figures in size. And here's one more comparison with a couple of different Spider-Men that I have from Hot Toys. The first three on the left, I guess, or in the center. You've got, the three from No Way Home. So you've got Toby, Tom Holland, and I always forget his name. I feel terrible. But again, these look extremely small in comparison to Venom there. And there on the right, you've got his, the classic Spider-Man again from the PS1 game, from the first PS1 game. But again, just want to show you guys there how small these guys are in comparison to this massive Venom there. And just one last comparison to other Hot Toys here. That is the Advanced Suit. That's the 1.0 from the first PS1 game. I do not have the newer version. I was too slow to pre-order, so I wasn't able to get an order in. But again, you guys can see if you're going to pair up the Advanced Suit Spider-Man to this Venom, he's huge, which I think kind of matches up with what was in the game because he was humongous in that game. And for giggles, I kind of just threw in Deadpool there just to show you guys the size difference. Here's one more random comparison. Again, I'm into Transformers as well. I figure why not? Let me throw in a Titan class Transformer. Venom still, want to say, half an inch taller there than the Guardian, which is based on the Omega Supreme mold. So again, just for size comparison to give you an idea of what you're dealing with this Venom size-wise next to a Titan class Transformer figure. And another comparison here next to another Transformer, but this is a non-transforming figure. So this is 3/0's premium scale Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie. Again, you guys can see Venom still standing up straight is taller than the premium scale Optimus Prime there. Not that you display these together, but again, it gives you a bit of an idea of what this Venom size-wise is like, right? Pretty tall figure there next to Optimus. And one last look. I didn't know if this would help, but this thing being so big, I figured, hey, let me put him up next to some, I guess what's called premium or quarter scale statues. Is the Sideshow Hulk, the recently one that was released, the Iron Studios Endgame Captain America that came out a while back. I believe that's quarter scale. And you've got the Breaker of Brimstone Thor from Sideshow, that's premium scale, whatever size that is. And on the right, you've got the Thanos from Iron
So
Studios.
here we go with the first basic pose, if you want to call it. I went ahead and switched out the hands. That wasn't too hard. They kind of just come off and pop right back in. I don't know if I mentioned the 2 out of the 3 tongues that he comes with, 2 of them can be used with that standard, I'm going to call it, head, right? Where he's just with his mouth closed. I had to use the joints in the waist or the legs, rather, the upper legs, pull them out to, get a better, posing, kind of crouching down. You guys can see there's a bit of a gap there. You do have to bend the knee. So of course, because you're bending the knee, you're going to get some bunching up here of the suit. Not too bad, but you could tell is there. But this is like your basic, I think, at least for me, Venom pose there, right? So he's just kind of standing there, tongue out. He got his claws out, getting ready to attack perhaps, but he does look pretty cool. I don't know that I would be comfortable leaving him in this position for maybe more than a day. Again, the material is really nice, really shiny. Just afraid that if I left it here in this pose, the suit would get damaged, but he does look pretty cool in this one pose here. So here's the second one. Not really much different from the first pose. Again, I still have the legs kind of bent. I did bend the knees one more click in. I don't know if you guys could tell, but again, the suit's kind of still sort of bunching up a bit there. The ankles are holding a lot of this weight because he is leaning, had him leaning a bit more forward for this second pose. I switched out the head and the tongue. Obviously, you guys could see it. Definitely loving that head and that tongue combination there. And I added the symbiote kind of gooey, if you want to call it that, arms right here on both the left and the right. I did have to play quite a bit to get those in. Thankfully, they are very flexible. But again, I would be careful with scratching or perhaps tearing something. But love the huge white spider sign on the back. I think this is like a very menacing pose. Again, very, very similar to that first one, but I am liking this one too. Again, the ankles are doing a lot of the work holding the weight there, so I would probably not leave it in this pose for a long time, but looking pretty cool. All right, so here's one more pose. I try to go for a bit of the spread out leg with screaming kind of pose here. I couldn't fit him in the little turntable that I have because his legs are so far apart. Again, the ankles and the knees are doing quite a good job of holding this guy in this pose. I also did add the symbiote or the little goo part on the back. The covers were actually a little hard to take off, or these little things here from the back. So that took a bit of work, but to get them in, they're kind of keyed in place. So I would certainly look at the instructions so you can get a better look. But he looks awesome in this pose. Again, I would probably recommend that you have a stand behind him to hold him in place, because I do feel if you leave him in this pose for quite a while, he may just take a bit of a dive. But again, he does look pretty awesome, I want to say, in this pose here. And here's the last one that I came up with, and this is probably by far my most favorite one. I went ahead and he's essentially fully kitted out with all his accessories. He's got the bladed symbiote hands, the tendrils and the forearms and the back, switched out the tongue, got him looking down there. He's going after Spidey. This is the PS5 version of the classic Spider-Man from that video game. Put him in a bit of an action pose, but he looks just so imposing there, going after Spidey with his bladed arms, Spidey trying to hold him off. And you know what, this they're both from the video game, right? But this is more of a classic suit Spider-Man, but I think they still do fit in really well. I know Venom's really not supposed to be this big, at least in the comic. But I don't know, it just kind of works for me. I definitely love that Venom is this huge, almost force that Spidey has to overcome. So I think in this case, this pose definitely does it for me. I think he looks really cool with all the different effects. If I could leave him in this pose forever, it would be really nice. But obviously, I would not recommend that. I did have to play quite a bit with the ankles there to get him to stand without any kind of support. But he's holding it in, and Spidey's actually helping a bit on his own there, holding Venom. But That is such a nice pose there. So really cool figure. All right, guys, so I think that's gonna do it for me. I went ahead and added the black suit Spider-Man from the Spider-Man 2 video game. I forgot I also had this in the collection, so I just want to show them off here for anyone that may be interested. But yeah, I mean, I think overall I am actually really happy with this thing. Initially the size was a bit overwhelming, not a lot of accessories, and I think still TBD on the how long the material would last. But man, just posting it, the massive size is actually a good thing. He looks, to my eyes, he looks awesome. I think he's definitely a great piece to add to my collection. I think he looks great right there. Very menacing looking Venom there. But anyway, if you made it to the end of the video, again, thank you so much for your very valuable time. I will catch you in the next one. Take care.